BookTube, Sarah here, and welcome to my channel. Today I'm coming to you with my December 2019 anticipated reads. Yes, we're talking about December books, you guys, but I don't think, except for one book, all of these are non-holiday books. I think the holiday books all were like September, October, November. By December, they figure most people have their holiday books. There were a lot, though, you guys, that I saw. As I go through every, week or so, I take a look at the coming soon on Amazon. And, there are a bunch of them coming out in December, but because it is December, I thought, maybe by now we've all got our holiday reads, so let's look into something to maybe perhaps read in the new year. There are not a lot of books coming out in December. That's typically the way it goes because, as I said, most publishers try to push their stuff to come out by November so people can get their holiday shopping done. But I do have 5 books here to talk about, so let's jump in and get started. The first book I want to share with you comes out on December the 3rd, and this is Finding Peace by Denise Grover Schwenk and Christine Gale. This is book number 3 in a Bluebird Bay novel. Now, I did not realize that Denise Grover Schwenk was writing a new series. Like I said, this is the 3rd book, and she's co-writing it, obviously, with another author. I'm definitely going to be picking up the first 2 books in this series. I'm a fan of this author's work. She typically writes more mystery thrillers, and this is a contemporary series. And I'm very, very interested to see how it would go. So essentially, this is the story of a woman by the name of Stephanie, whose husband has just passed away. Now, they were married for 30 years. So this is the story about somebody older. This isn't somebody in their 20s. This is potentially somebody in their 50s. And after her husband's death, secrets start being revealed about what exactly was going on in his life prior to his death. Secret affairs and things like that. Sounds totally interesting. Again, I am a big fan. I have not read Christine Gale, so I cannot speak on her work, but I can tell you that Denise writes some great, great novels. She wrote a book called 28 and a Half Wishes, which is the start of a series. That was delightful. If you haven't read it, I believe it's available on Kindle Unlimited. Check it out for sure. But definitely this one, I cannot wait to read. It is on my wish list on Amazon, so I'm hoping to pick it up sooner rather than later. But like I said, I think I want to go back and read the first 2 books in this series first, but I wanted to make you guys aware of this and of this author if she was someone that you weren't familiar with. The next one I want to share with you comes out December 4th, and this is the holiday book that I was talking about. Now, in my next video on Thursday, you guys are going to be seeing the announcement for the 2019 Holiday Book Bingo. Yay! I cannot wait. So many of you are super excited about it, and I love that. But anyway, I'm not giving away the categories just yet. You got to wait until Thursday. But this book would definitely fit one of the categories, at least for me personally. And I have pre-ordered it, and I am going to be reading it in December for my holiday book bingo. And this book is Hanukkah at the Hanukkah at the Great Greenwich Ice Creamery by Sharon Ibbotson, I think is how you say the author's name. So this is about a man who is to use a Christmas term, a Grinch. He one day walks into this ice creamery in London, England, and orders his usual black coffee, and he meets the proprietor, whose name is River. And she is going to teach him more about, what does it say here? Could her influence encourage him to become the man who embraces Christmas, Hanukkah, and even strawberry ice cream? So it's just going to be literally a sweet romance, like a very sweet holiday, Christmas, Hanukkah romance, and I'm super thrilled. I am always very interested to read Hanukkah type romances because I'm interested just in learning more about Hanukkah and different religions and how they celebrate. And as you guys might know, if you've been watching me for like a month or so, a few weeks back I read Holiday by Candlelight, which was a Hanukkah romance, which I was rather disappointed in because Hanukkah was quite lacking in that book. So I'm hoping this one will be better. I cannot recommend it. I'm recommending it because it sounds adorable, but I haven't read it. It's not a read recommendation yet. But I will report back in December. Like I said, I have pre-ordered it. I'm very much looking forward to it coming in, and I cannot wait to read it. The next book comes out on December the 10th, and this is Forever Friends by Sarah Mackenzie. This is book number 1 in the Cranberry Cove series. I'm not familiar at all with this author. and I saw this book on Amazon, and the cover intrigued me. And when I read the opening blurb on the back, I went, yes, please, because this one sounds right up my alley. So I'm just going to read this little part for you. It says, perfect for fans of Susan Mallery and Jill Shalvis, two of my favorite authors. This is the story of two mothers, one pregnant and one sending her child to college, form an unlikely friendship, finding love, hope, and a new start at life in this charming, laugh-out-loud read. Does that not sound delightful? It's more of a women's fiction than a romance, but about two women who are at different stages of their lives, forming a friendship and learning how to love, and maybe one of them is divorced. I don't know. I'm super intrigued. I'm also super intrigued to read a new to me author. And I can't help but love the author's name. I mean, it's fantastic. But yeah, this one just sounds utterly delightful. For those of you who love a good women's fiction novel, I think that this one is definitely one that maybe you should check out. And yeah, I just think it looks delightful. And the whole fact that it says for fans of Susan Mallery and Jill Shalvis, I can only hope that the writing is as good as either of those authors, because if so, this one sounds fantastic. Next up, coming out on December the 16th, is The Lost Summers of Driftwood by Vanessa McCausland, I believe is how you say the author's last name. This one sounds so good. The cover drew me in as soon as I saw it on Amazon, and I clicked on it to read more what it was about. And I don't want to get too much into this one because, not that it sounds like it's going to be a thriller, but it sounds like the kind of book that you might want to go into blind. So again, like the other one, I'm just going to read actually the very, very end little bit of the synopsis for this one. The Lost Summers of Driftwood is a story of lost loves, rekindled passions, tragedy, and betrayal set against the backdrop of an idyllic South Coast town. It actually takes place in Australia. Essentially, what it's about is a woman who is at a crossroads in her life, and she decides to flee to her family's vacation cottage. And during the time she spends on the riverboat getting to this cottage is when secrets are revealed and things like that. Sounds really, really good. The fact it's set in Australia. You guys know, if you watch me for a while, you know books set in Alaska are my go-to for books that I must read. Also books set in Australia. It is on my bucket list to one day get to as well. Whether I'll actually ever get there or not, but I can travel through books. And yeah, this one sounds really, really good, and I cannot wait to read this one. The last book I want to share with you is by a more well-known author. I didn't realize when I was putting this list together that those first 4 books are by authors that, 3 of them I am not familiar with, except for, well, no, the first one I was familiar with, but the next 3 are authors I have not read before. So I'm hoping they're going to be new to you authors as well, which is always delightful to find new to you authors. But this last one is by an author I think most of us who read romance are familiar with, especially if you read historical romance. And coming out on December the 30th is The Prince of Broadway by Joanna Shupe. This is book number 2 in the Uptown Girls series. I love, love, love this. I love her work. She tends to write historical romance not set in Regency, England, which is always a breath of fresh air. These are set in New York City, and this one is about a man who's a casino owner, and she is, what is she? Society's darling. So it's going to be a romance between the two of them. I'm so interested to hear about the whole casino aspect. Joanna Shupe writes some amazing, amazing books. I am such a big fan of her work, and I am very, very much looking forward to this next one coming out at the end of December. So anyway, guys, that is all that I have for this video. I do hope that you enjoyed it. Please let me know in the comments below which of these books sound good to you. May you potentially be joining me to be reading the Chanukah book in December. Like I said, stay tuned. On Thursday, of course, is going to be the announcement for the Holiday Book Bingo. So you will find out more about which category that one is going to be for. And yeah, until my next video, everybody, take care and happy reading. Thank you all so much for watching. Bye, guys.